Oh, nice! Well, that was a mini stampede that we got caught in a couple of weeks ago. I was doing a coaching session at Danflash Reservoir. A little bit scary at the time. Obviously, you don't want big animals like that damaging your van and things like that, but yeah, it added a bit of interest to the event. I've got a bit of coverage from those coaching events for you in a little while. I've just drove the 100 miles bike from Ferry Meadows. I've just competed in another slightly frustrating Feeder Masters qualifier, but again, I've got some footage of that for you in a little while. It's been a very, very busy month. August was always planned to be quite hectic. The diary was quite busy, but I did leave some gaps in there for various things, and you know, inevitably some of those gaps got filled in. I've got a couple of Feeder Masters live match videos for you just to show you how I went on in those two qualifiers. I've got some footage from an open day that I took part in at a tattle shop in Leeds. There is the small matter of preparing for the World Pairs, a fantastic event that I'm really looking forward to heading back over to Ireland, competing in that again this year. So I'd just like to tell you a little bit about that and show you some of the kit that I'm going to be taking with me, and just a bit of footage from a couple of the coaching days that I managed to get out on the bank and do this month. So yeah, August has been a very busy month, but it kick-started with a Feeder Masters qualifier on the mighty River Trent. Good morning. This is a £12,000 Feeder Masters qualifier. We're here at Dunham Bridge on the mighty tidal River Trent. It's been in flood all week. It was always going to be an interesting match. There's been some areas of England that's been terribly affected by the floods and the rain, and we've just come over the river, and it is well, it's at the top of the banks anyway, so it's going to be a test. First look at the river. Flat calm again. Sun's come out. It's not been cut out or anything, but it's not an issue. So I'm peg 19. Mr. Golding on the end peg 20. That's the last peg. He's got the scales. First look at the peg. A bit overgrown. There should be some steps down there somewhere. There we go. Don't know what number that is. Permanent number 3. Bad start, that one. Told me that it's not. Oh yeah. Nice quick bite that one, wasn't it? Yeah. Only in a few seconds. 2 pieces of worm. Fast bite that, wasn't it? Yeah. Small fish. It is.
Yeah, then that's what Mash had been bumping it earlier.
Yeah.
That was
Well, that's it, done. I didn't check in the last 2 hours. I lost a bream which I pulled out of, and then I lost another one. The line just got cut off, so 2 bream, and then I've lost 2 hybrids since then as well, so I need to just kind of get my head down. Well, that was a really kind of, it was a surprising day, to be honest. When a river is in flood like that, obviously, you know, form generally goes out the window. You know, any hot spots tend to kind of change, obviously, when you know, it's a tidal river anyway, but when it's in flood like that and there's extra water in, obviously that very often highlights areas that you wouldn't normally want to go to, but it highlights areas of slight water and that sort of thing, steadier areas of the river that can hold some fish, and that's really how it panned out. The key for me really was just to, you know, I've been really surprised by, you know, how many fish I caught. I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the day, obviously, regardless of the result. I didn't qualify for the Feeder Masters final, but you know, I caught quite a few fish and I enjoyed the way I caught them as well, and I think I made the right decisions on the day. The only little bit of hindsight was maybe I could probably have fished a little bit closer into my bank, but it wasn't quite as deep there as what it was further upstream to my left, so obviously hindsight we'll never really know, but I enjoyed it as a qualifier. It was nice to get back on the river, and it was certainly nice to catch a few fish and get a few bites, and certainly with them being some nice stamp fish as well, so it was an enjoyable day. And obviously I got a chance to take Dad along with me, so it was a nice day on the bank with him as well. Well, I left some days free actually in August because, you know, I do get asked about fishing days quite regular, and obviously because I've always been working Monday to Friday, my time was pretty limited to get out on the bank with people and do coaching days, or fishing days as I like to call them, and I had probably 3 or 4 sessions through this month, which was great to get out and conduct those sessions. So I've got a little bit of footage for you from the bank, but yeah, 2 different venues, these videos, but just give you a little bit of an insight into what those days are all about. Well, during August I managed to get out and conduct 3 coaching sessions, which was brilliant. You know, I really enjoy these sessions. It reminds me of 8 years ago when I had my first and only session, and that was with Dean Barlow, and every time I come out on these sessions it always reminds me about, you know, how keen I was then on that particular session. It was up at Underbank Reservoir, which is a venue I spent a lot of time on as a kid, and I remember when Dean got there I was already set up and everything, and you know, it was just a fantastic session. It really accelerated a lot of the learning that I wanted to obviously learn about back then. It just sped everything up for me. Managed to get 3 done during August, like I say, and I really enjoyed them. One of them was at Damflash Reservoir. Again, that's a venue I grew up on as a kid. I used to go up there on the bus, and yeah, got a lot of memories up there. But it was great to see the venue fishing so well. I was up there with a couple of lads, and they had a bite nearly every cast. They were catching some hand-sized skimmers, some roach, and it was a really good kind of taster for their first ever trip to Ireland, which they're actually going and competing in September. So it was great to get so many bites, to convert those bites into fish, and just kind of go through those sorts of things about the feeding and just the style of fishing that they're going to be faced with when they go over to Ireland. And the other session was here at the lovely Sherwood Forest Farm Park Fishery, where I've spent a little bit of time recently doing some filming. I've done 2 or 3 videos here now, and I've also done some for Matrix as well. It's a lovely venue, and it's not far from where I live as well, which is obviously it's a bonus when it's somewhere's only 30 miles from where you live. It just makes the day a lot more enjoyable. But the sessions that I've been doing have been great. I've really enjoyed them. I don't get much opportunity to take part in them, but obviously now I've got a few more weekdays available. Certainly later on in the year, now the matches are slowing down a little bit, then I can get out on the bank a little bit more. But it just reminds me about the enthusiasm about, you know, our hunger to just learn new tricks and tips. And a lot of people like these sessions just purely because they can get to meet me and the kit and see the kit that I use, get their hands on the rods and the reels and the stuff that I use, that they see me using in my videos. So you know, some of the occasions, that's why I don't refer to them as coaching days, I refer to them as fishing days, because it's just an opportunity to spend a few hours on the bank, see the kit that I use, just talk tactics, talk fishing, and hopefully catch a few fish. Bloody hell, he did go and all, didn't he? Part of my duties as a consultant for Matrix is I need to attend certain open days and show days each year. It's just part of the deal that many of us are on. I was approached a few weeks ago to do an open day or attend an open day, and it's only 30 odd miles away from where I live. It's actually in Leeds and it's at BobCo Tattle. It's not part of my duties, as it were, to attend this particular day, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to come and see this tattle shop. Long before I was with Matrix, back in 2011 when I first got into my feeder fishing, I bought a couple of rods from this tattle shop online and the service was fantastic, but I've never had the opportunity to see the store, so I thought the opportunity to go along, meet obviously the staff there, but meet some of the anglers that are going to be there and just kind of talk about rigs and tattle. I've got a bag here with plenty of riggy bits in there, just so, you know, if anyone wants to talk about rigs, and I can just obviously show demonstrations about the sorts of rigs that I use. I've also got a ground bait here that I can go through ground bait mixes and that sort of thing. So it's just a really nice opportunity to meet a lot of the viewers that watch these videos and follow some of the competitions that I'm involved in, and it's just a nice opportunity just to kind of give something back to obviously to Matrix and to the anglers that obviously support the channels and watch the videos that we produce. Openly admit that I have no idea how much stock they got at this store. It's unbelievable. We've got rods and poles upstairs, which is fantastic. I'll have a walk up there shortly just to show you what's up there, but it's been a good day, to say the weather is so nice outside. We've had loads of visitors, it's been great. If any of you are watching this that have been here, thank you for coming and saying hello. We've had a good setup here, obviously some refreshments here, but we've got the platform set up. Obviously it's great, you know, I really mainly use that in Ireland and stuff, because, you know, a lot of the fishing that I do is feeder fishing, and the S36 box that I use is really, even with the legs fully extended, is sturdy enough as it is. But on the occasions when you need a platform, that has been fantastic. We've got a few other bits of kit here. We've been doing 1 or 2 rig demonstrations as well. Just, you know, people love to talk about fishing and tangles and just the types of rig that you use on certain sorts of venues. These are the perfect days for that, just to talk about that. And obviously it's been nice to get a couple of coaching days booked in as well, and just nice to meet some of the guys that watch all the videos. So thanks for coming and saying hello if you're watching this now, if you've been here today. And before I go, I'll have a quick walk around upstairs, just show you the range of rods. But yeah, they're really good days these, because a lot of the stuff that we do now is really online, and you know, it's not very often you get to see a lot of these people, so it's been great to see some of you. Well, it's been very busy, considering what such a nice day it is out there. It's absolutely gorgeous weather out there, bank holiday weekend. Really surprised how busy it's been. I've never been up here before. I've just been told we've got 500 rods on display and poles up here as well. How about that for a selection? Absolute unbelievable range. No idea what's up here. Like I say, I think there's some poles at the far end. Fantastic display. This is obviously where all skivers are. Obviously, I found out where they've been hiding. They've been up on in the penthouse all day. How about that for a selection? Yeah. How about that for a selection? And it looks like it goes all the way around there as well. So let's go and have a look.
Hello.
All best looking ones are upstairs, aren't
they? I understand now, mate.
I can't believe how much kit there is up here. It's just an unbelievable store. Some more rods here. Loads of reels. Plenty of camo. These are obviously more specimen orientated rods. Even the roof's camoed up. It just goes on and on. Gear everywhere. It's been a brilliant day, really enjoyed it. It's been great to say hello to lots of people that I do know, lots that I don't know as well, met them for the first time. That's why these days are so special, and hopefully it'd be nice to do 1 or 2 more of these up and down the country if we can do it, that is. But yeah, it's times like this when it just puts a lot of reality into a lot of the media stuff that we do online, when you just see people's names and you're chatting, whether it be on WhatsApp, Messenger, email, YouTube. You get a chance to meet them and shake their hands and talk fishing. So if you're one of the people that come down here today, thanks for coming, really enjoyed it. And yeah, it makes it a lot more of a social thing. Well, the open day was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. It was good to see the store. I couldn't believe how much stock they've got at BobCo. And I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who came along just to come and say hello and talk fishing. It was nice to get a couple of coaching days booked in as well, and just get some feedback about a lot of the media stuff that I do as regards the videos and that sort of thing, what people want to see and what they enjoy watching. And it was nice to add some other subjects to the list, because obviously I keep a running list of the videos that I'm going to be producing, and it was just really nice to shake the hands of some people that obviously you only kind of interact with on platforms like this, you know, just through Messenger or through the comments on videos or Facebook or email and that sort of thing. So fantastic shop, that BobCo. I wish it was a little bit closer to me, but it's just brilliant to see so much stock, and the staff were superb. They looked after us all day, and considering it was such a beautiful, hot, sunny day, it was a surprising turnout, which was great. So thank you to everybody who came along to see us at the store. Well, the World Pairs, it's widely regarded by many people as the best festival on the calendar. I don't think it's any sort of coincidence that you keep getting the same people going back there year after year. I think that speaks volumes. Yes, it can work out a little bit dearer than some festivals, and yes, there can be quite a bit of travelling involved, but I kind of think in a funny kind of way, that is all part of the experience as well. It's not just about the fishing. Obviously it's a pairs event as well, which also adds to the experience, because the majority of anglers that go over there travel over in the same van, so you're very much like that from start to finish. You're travelling over, you're in the van together every morning, and the good thing with pairs competitions like that on different venues is that regardless of what kind of day you've had, you've no idea really how your partner's gone on, and it's a weight competition as well, so the competition's never really over, you know, even going into the Thursday and Friday, because it's a 5-day event. Because it's a weight competition, you could both have 2 great days on the last day and you're right back in the frame again. So it's an exciting competition to fish, and you know, it's no secret that I've been looking forward to getting back over there since we got off the ferry last time. I fished the event with Big Richie Hull, who I'm sure a lot of you know, and he's even more mad for it than what I am. So yeah, this, you know, August has really been about just kind of preparing my kit for that. Obviously this is probably the 6th or 7th one that I've fished, so you kind of get an idea of the kit that you're going to need. You know, I don't take mountains of gear, and a lot of the venues are familiar venues. This year there's only one new venue in there which I haven't seen before, but I've heard about it before. It's called the Manor. It's a lovely looking stretch. I know they have used it in other festivals previously, but I haven't fished it, and incidentally that's actually where we're staying this year. We've got a change of digs this year. We're actually staying at the Manor, and that's basically, you know, it's a beautiful house, and in the grounds of the house overlooking the river are some cottages, and that's where we're staying this year. So I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously Richard brings his dog Tyler, and so accommodation, obviously when you've got pets as well like that, and obviously Tyler, you know, you've got to think about that sort of thing, and it's going to be ideal for him. So yeah, we're really looking forward to getting over there. I've been preparing mainly a lot of hook lengths and that sort of thing. A lot of the fishing over there is exciting fishing, it's wild. But I can quickly show you just a couple of bits of the kit that I'm going to be taking over there. I'm going to be using the one of the key bits of kit is going to be the 4-meter Horizon XD, the 100-gram version. You know, a lot of the fishing over there, even if you're only casting 40 meters, 45 meters, which to be fair, that is a very common range over there, you still need kit like this, just purely because the conditions can be so severe that, you know, you've just got to beef everything up basically. You're hoping you're going to be catching fish as well, and sometimes you might have heavy feeders on 50-60 gram feeders sometimes, and if you're cranking fish in as well constantly, you need to couple that sort of a rod with a decent sized reel. Now in the past I've always used the Feeder 5500, which, you know, a lot of people know I love that reel. It's an incredibly reliable reel. I didn't realise until I was going through my kit a couple of weeks ago that the Feeder 5500 reels that I have still got are probably 3 years old now, and still going strong. And let's face it, you know, I am using reels every time I go out fishing, you know, because I'm predominantly a feeder angler, and they've had loads and loads of use. However, this year we brought out the Horizon 5000 reel. It's a step up. It's larger than the Aqua's 5000 reel, and so I'm going to be using this. The balance on it is a larger reel, like I said, than the original Aqua's 5000, but this is a new reel altogether. It's completely different design and everything, and it's got much more of a winding cranking action to it, and it is that little bit bigger, which means it's matched perfectly for this sort of fishing on a 13-foot or 4-meter rod. So I'm going to be using the 5500. It's kitted with braid. It's 0.10 submerged braid that I'm going to be using on it with shock leaders. So yeah, it's all braid fishing over there, and that's going to be a lovely balance. So I'm going to be taking 2 or 3 of those. Obviously it's nice to have duplicates, and obviously you don't, if you do suffer any breakages, you're over in Ireland, you know, you can't just reach for a spare, so you've got to take little bits like that with you just in case you do have any accidents or anything. The Feeder 5500, I do still use that reel, but as you can see the comparison in size, the new 5000 is larger in size, physically size, and that's why I think it's just matched brilliantly with that 13-foot rod. I've obviously been kitting up some spools as well for the 5000 reel. You've obviously got to take 1 or 2 spares with you, you know. Thankfully, touch wood, I don't have many issues with braid breaking or knots in the braid or anything like that. I haven't done for years, so the way that I'm loading my reels and that sort of thing must be the correct way of doing it. But obviously when you're fishing these harsh wild venues, anything can happen, so it's always good to have a couple of spare spools to carry with you. Don't leave them back in the cottage or the digs, because obviously if you have any problems whilst you're on the bank, that's no good to you if it's back in the digs. Okay, so I'll just carry a couple of those with me, already kitted up with braid. So I'm going to be taking a couple of those with me. I'll have some spare braid in my bag as well in case I do need some, and I've got some mono as well, although I don't expect to be using mono. We've also, as well as a change of digs this year, we've also got a change of mix. Now previously in the last 3 years, I think it is, we've always used the same mix, and that's been a 50-50 mix of Pro Natural Dark and Pro Natural Bream, which are the bait tech mixers. But this year we're having a bit of a change. We just fancied just a change really, just to kind of freshen things up, and we've gone down the Ringer's European feeder mix route this year. It's a very dark mix, as you can probably see. It's only about a year old, this mix. Steve Ringer and Phil Ringer both used this mix last year, and I'm sure they're going to be using it again this year. So that is a mix that we're going to be using. It's obviously a cereal mix, and this is one of the key ground baits that I'm going to be covering in my new ground bait series over on my channel, on the Catch Fishing channel on YouTube, that everyone will be able to see when that series goes live. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about that mix in that series. But like I say, it's already dark. We don't have to add anything to it, any molasses or anything like that. Like I say, it's always nice and dark. It's pretty good at binding, but like I say, most of the time we're going to be feeder fishing anyway. But having said that, I am obviously taking the pole gear, so I'll be making pole rigs up, pole hook lengths and that sort of thing. I don't fish with a pole most of the year, as a lot of you know, but over in Ireland you've got to cover your options because you never know what to expect. One of the other bits of kit I've been preparing and just going through are the shock leaders. Obviously, you know, when you're fishing venues that are quite wild, there's rocks, there's zebra mussels, there's all sorts there that can damage your line, damage your braid, your shock leaders and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be taking quite a few shock leaders with me as well. These are new ones, these are the tapered ones, which I'm sure you're all familiar with now. These I'll be taking 4 spools of these. There are actually 5 on each one, and they're 12 meters long as well, so that's obviously plenty to cover hopefully any disasters or any tough pegs that I might get. But with those being tapered leaders as well, it just helps casting, you know, because obviously The thicker end of the taper is where your rig is, and it just gets narrower and narrower up to 0.22, where the knot is, where it attaches to your braid. So it just allows you to cast, and you know, and every little percentage like that that's going to aid your casting. Certainly on venues where the conditions can be a bit tough and severe, then it's got to be a bonus if it's going to give you a bit of an edge. A lot of the time the draw is at 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't kick off till 12, so you've generally got quite a bit of time to set up. But yeah, really looking forward to it. All my kit is just about done now, so it's just going to be a case of packing it, checking my lists, just make sure I've got everything, and then getting ourselves to Holyhead for the ferry, where I'll be travelling over there with Richie, and I will be doing some filming for you as well. So in this video next month, in the September's diary video, there will be some footage from the World Pairs for you, as well as over on my YouTube channel as well, as soon as I get back, but I can't wait to get there. Well, the other match that I fished this month was another Feeder Masters qualifier, and that was at Ferry Meadows. That's where I've been today. It's been a very testing day. I'm familiar with Ferry Meadows, and I've got to openly admit that I haven't ever drawn in the epicentre of where the bream are. It is pretty much an out-and-out bream venue, and it's bream that you need to win. I was going down there this morning to try and qualify for the Feeder Masters final by winning the 20 peg zone. But here's some footage for you. I did film it as a live match, so here's a sneaky peek of how the match went today. Well, good morning. This is another £12,000 Feeder Masters qualifier. Peg 12 Overton. Doesn't mean a massive amount to me, I'll be totally honest. Fish out there, is it? Come to Ferry, it's full of monsters. Usually hammered with small fish, and they're literally that big on both lines. Maggot, even worm. Lads up to my right are suffering from it as well. So I've never made a change as quick as this, but I'm making one now, and that is I'm going to switch to the method. I'm not going to win anything with these small fish. I need bream, and there's that many small fish there. I'm in the worm, the caster, the maggot. So I'm going to switch to a boilie or a wafter. Got one to stay on. Oh. Yeah. Come on, one on. Another frustrating match. The one thing I am pleased about, I'm pleased that I went, obviously. You know, it's 100 miles from where I live, and you've got to make an effort if you want to try and get in these finals. And sometimes they are long journeys, but I'm pleased I went. I obviously got a chance to take Dad along with me as well. So, yeah, it's been an interesting day. The biggest thing for me is I'm really pleased how quick I changed. I was quick to pick up that things weren't right at all on a conventional style rig. And I had to quickly change to a method feeder and just be far more selective. You know, I've never seen so many small fish in there. I've only ever drawn on that lake once before, and last time I think I had one fish all day, one perch. There were blanks, and you know there have been loads of small fish there today, which is obviously great to see for the venue, but it really affects your fishing when you're trying to target bream. So I was pleased that I made that decision as quick as what I did, but again it means no place in the final. But you know, I'm just really pleased the way I'm fishing. I think the reason why it's so frustrating is because I consider myself to be fishing the best I've ever fished. You know, I'm making better decisions. My preparation is bang on. I'm researching the venues. I'm up to speed on how they're fishing, and I just think I'm thinking a lot clearly on the bank, a lot clearer. Seeing what's happening around me. I'm quick to pick up on what's working and, more importantly, what's not working. And you know, obviously, that's all you can do. Just fish to your strengths. And if you can beat everyone around you, then you can't do more than that. You just got to hope for a draw sometimes, and hopefully that will not be too far away. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little bit of an insight into what I've been up to through August. September's diary video will be once again very, very varied. I'm going to have some footage for you from the World Pairs, which hopefully is going to be some successful footage, but regardless, I will be doing some filming, regardless of the conditions and how it fishes. So there will be some World Pairs footage for you. There is also the small matter of the World Club qualifier. I'm fortunate enough again to be fishing for Ringer baits alongside Steve Ringer, Phil Ringer, Rob Wotton and Adam Wakeling. We're competing in that qualifier, which is at Arrow Valley. So I'll have a report on that for you to let you know how that went, see if we managed to secure a place in the World Club final. And I'm also out with DHP Match Fishing Magazine down where I'm out shooting a feature as well, so I'll have a bit of footage of that for you, and I'm sure there are going to be some other things that spring up along the way. So thanks for logging on, really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed this little bit of an insight into what I've been up to through August, and I'll see you all at the end of September, and I hope you all have a fantastic month.